Hello everybody and welcome back. Today we are jumping into the first bullet journal setup for January of 2019, and I am starting out the new year with a new bullet journal. It is the Army Green Leuchtturm 1917, and just cracking it open here and getting it set up to go. So one of the things that I have heard and I've never done is to go through and sort of flatten your pages, and that's supposed to help you get a better writing experience right off of the bat, although I'll say the Leuchtturm has been my favorite. Other things that I use are my ruler, some pencils, and really those are the big things that you need for doing a bullet journal. But I also like to throw a little bit of color in there, so using my Tombow dual brush pens to set up the first page of my new bullet journal, which is going to be the 2019 calendar. I'm also trying out some Papermate Flare Candy Pop pens, and they are a medium nib size, and so far I actually really like them. I used them predominantly for most of the writing in this bullet journal except for my Tombow Food no Seke pen, and I also used them used the dual brush pens there, but for everything else I pretty much used this pen. Now, I do apologize that I am late in getting this out there, but the holidays have been crazy for me with just family and work life getting in the way of things. So that's the reason that I'm a little late in getting this out there to you guys. But I look forward to bringing some new awesome bullet journal videos for this next year. And if you guys have anything in particular that you're wanting to see this year that maybe I haven't done or I did in my last bullet journal but you want an updated version, please make sure to leave them in the comments below so that I can address those throughout this next year. I hope that everybody's new year and holidays went great, and let's jump into the next part of this bullet journal series here, which is going to be doing another way. If you don't like having that monthly calendar, or say you don't typically use that and you want more of a future log, then this is another way that you can do it. Now, last year, if you want to see how I did my future log, you can take a look at last year's January setup, but this year I'm doing a more numbered layout here, and I know that it has a specific name, but I can't think of it off the top of my head here. So I'm just going to go ahead and go in here, and this way, rather than just having a blank space, I'll actually have a numbered day for putting in dates and specific things that I want to note. Now, I do realize the hindrance here is that if I have more than one thing on one day, I'm probably going to run into some issues there, but that doesn't tend to happen too frequently, so hopefully that won't be a problem as we go throughout the year. Now, my other long-term plan is to go in here and use some colors to highlight specific dates or things that I want to do, which is why this may look pretty plain to you guys right now, but my hope is that throughout the year, as I highlight specific dates or write things in, it'll have a little bit more color and a little bit more life to it. However, I do like using those Tombow dual brush pens as a great way to highlight anything in particular, and for me, the days of the week seem to be a little bit more important to me than the month, because I tend to be always questioning what day it is. So then, just to give you an idea of what it will look like, I'm just putting in a couple of days that I know off the top of my head in there. This next page is going to be a grid layout, and I've seen several Pinterest posts about this, as well as Amanda Rach Lee does it on her channel, or has done it in her bullet journal. And so this is a layout to kind of help you figure out where you want to space things and to help with spacing, because there's certainly a lot of times where I am going through and I'm setting things up and I'm wondering, okay, how many how many dot grids are there here? And so this is going to hopefully help me to be able to come back to this in the future. My first page layout for this new year is going to be based on Totoro, and it's a movie that I watched a couple years ago and I haven't watched in a while, but I've been getting back into it, and I have watched a few other little animated movies, and so I thought this year might be really cool to do my bullet journal setups around maybe some animated films and trying to do things that I could doodle. And Totoro was the first one that came to mind, and so if you guys have any other things that you would like to see me do as a bullet journal monthly setup, then please let me know. I'm gonna try and stick to this, but we'll see how it goes here. So that was my title page, and then moving on to my monthly spread here, and this spread is going to be a little bit different than some of the other ones that I have done, in that I'm not going to be outlining a whole lot of things. Now, as I said, I'm using my Papermate Flair medium tip pins to do a lot of this, and I will tell you, compared to the other ones, I was surprised at how well they seem to work with the Tombow dull brush pins. There is some smearing and a little bit more smudging than I would expect with the other pins that I have used, but it is not significant, and most of it was actually associated with a roller. So, you know, when you run that around the tip of the pin along the roller, you tend to get a little bit of buildup of ink, and so whenever I would move the roller down, sometimes it would smear it a little bit. But overall, I was really pleased with these pins, and since I have so many colors, I'll probably continue to use them, as I think it'll be an easy way to add some color to this. So on this page, other than the month layout here, and I've got little Totoro on the bottom with his little friend, and then I thought I'd throw in some soot sprites just using the Papermate Flair pin, and then of course my Signo Gel white pin to add in the little whites, and going back over the top of that with one little dot. And that was another thing I liked about these pins, is I felt like I could make them pretty fat lines, or I could make them finer if I wrote real lightly on the top of it. This next page is going to be my habit tracker, and I'm doing a similar layout as to last month's layout. So going through and making this box where I'm going to go in and do number the days of the month, and they will be separated out for each habit that I'm doing. However, this time, rather than going through and making an actual box, I'm leaving that box kind of open, and I'm hoping that this helps with the setup time, as well as I'm just able to, you know, do this a lot faster and still get a similar look. And my plan, as last time, is to go in with some pins. I'm not planning on using any particular colors. It'll just be whatever is available that day. So it may end up being a little bit more fun and a little bit more of a rainbow color by the end of it. And I'm just tracking my normal things here, so it's not anything special. The last thing that I wanted to add to this page was a little cattail drawing. Most of Totoro is, well, not all of it, but a good bit of it is filmed in the woods, and he is supposed to be a being that is part of the woods. So I wanted to add in a little bit more of that woodsy feel that you get whenever you're out there, when they're out there searching for Totoro. And then continuing with that theme, I thought I would add in a little mushroom at the top, and I used the Papermate Flairs to outline my mushroom. In some ways, I wish I'd just gone ahead and outlined it in the black and then colored it in, but I don't think that it looks bad this way. And then just adding one of his little friends running through the rain with their little leaf umbrella there. And I'm doing the sleep tracker exactly the same as I did last month, and it seems to work well for me, so I'm going to keep doing that. My meal plan here, as you guys know, using my recipe list and just my meals, I left this page pretty blank just because I tend to do a lot of writing, and sometimes that can get overwhelming if you've got a lot of doodles on there. The last page that is specific to this monthly setup is my brain dump, and I am trying to do some different hand lettering, which is going to be part of my goals this year, is to work on doing different hand lettering and not just sticking to the same ones that I do all of the time. And speaking of goals, I wanted to go ahead and set up this page here, and this is going to be my goal list or drawing. I haven't decided quite yet of what I should do here. Maybe a mixture of both, because I can doodle, but I'm not like an amazing doodler, and so I feel like there are going to be some goals that don't really have a drawing to go with it. So I hope that you guys can add that into your bullet journal as well. You all know how I feel about having goals for your life and not just, you know, putting unattainable goals, things that you can get done in your life. So doing this last little flip through here, sorry about it being late. I hope that you guys enjoyed this setup, and as before, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And if you have any ideas here that you want me to do for my next bullet journal setups, please make sure to put them down below. And just one last thing that I was doing here was I had forgotten to put in the title of my monthly. So usually I write in January, February, whatever it may be. And I realized as I was doing my flip through that I hadn't done that. So just doing that. And then I hope that you guys have a great beginning to your new year. And as always, have a great day bullet journaling.